folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen. This week we're discussing the upcoming Horror Hangouts live stream, which will be taking place on Wednesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by none other than the Horror Miser Monty G. Over on his channel, I will have the link below in the description of this video, so definitely check out his channel. And this month we're going to be talking all about the most disturbing horror films of all time. And there's so many of them, aren't there? Films that just get under your skin, make you feel all nasty inside, that you have to go take a shower, you know. And disturbing can be in a lot of different ways, you know. It could be morally disturbing, mentally disturbing. It can just be something that's super gory, that's so gory and blood-soaked that, you know, it turns your stomach, you know. It could be things that are sexually depraved, you know. It could be a lot of different things, and I think one example is Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange, which may be kind of tame by today's standards, but I still think it packs a wallop, you know. This story about these street hooligans, you know, taking place in the dark, bleak future, and they just go about the city raping and pillaging and plundering and killing people, and it's brutal. And they just think they're above the law, that there's no consequences, especially the leader, Alex, played by Malcolm McDowell. But, of course, he does get caught, and he, instead of just going to jail, he gets put in this new kind of rehabilitation treatment, and they basically torture the crap out of him, make him face his fears, and make him face all the horrible things that he's done to people and the consequences, you know. Basically trying to scare him straight. And it's crazy, it's brutal. But does it work? You have to watch the movie, you know, I'm not going to tell you. And another one starring Malcolm McDowell that I think may be the most messed up movie that I have ever seen, and that is Caligula, infamously horrifying film. In many ways, in every possible way, probably. And the crazy thing is, a lot of it is true, based on, you know, the Roman Empire back in the day, and Caligula was one of the emperors of Rome. He was considered mentally psychotic, you know, and he's depraved, he's basically a lunatic, he's out of his mind, and this guy is running Rome, you know. He's the emperor. And there's certain scenes that just really stand out to me, that really get under my skin, you know. And there's a lot of them. One in particular that just gives me nightmares, you know, and that was, you know, when they're at the Colosseum in Rome, which, you know, famously, you know, the emperors pitted people together basically in life and death fights just for their amusement. And one such thing is one of his servants, he threw in this pit of, I don't know if it was apples or tomatoes, but right up to their heads, and they can't move, you know, and there's a bunch of people in there. It's like a pool of tomatoes or something, and there's this machine there's this machine that's like this giant, like, lawnmower or something, and it just goes up to the people and lops their heads right off. It's insane. And he's just sitting there in the crowd laughing it up, you know, having a grand old time. This movie's insane. And, yeah, sexual, there's a lot of craziness, there's rape, there's every kind of demented and devious thing you could possibly imagine in this movie. So yeah, Caligula is definitely up there for me. And a recent one would be The Substance. Yeah, this is a film I think really gets under your skin. It's really disturbing and pretty nuts, you know. By the end of the film, it just gets the suspense and the tension and the grotesquerie that takes place in the film is definitely disturbing, I would say. Films like The Human Centipede, another one, there's a couple from David Cronenberg that really disturbed me, and that one of them being The Brood. Man, this movie is messed up. And David Cronenberg, I don't know, he has a way of just getting under your skin with these body horror films like The Brood. And there's this mother in this, played by Samantha Eggar, that she's just batshit out of her mind, and the end scene is one of the most disturbing things I have ever seen in film. Her depraved emotional issues are manifesting into these real-life creatures that she gives birth to. And they're going around brutally killing people. These little, like, freakish dwarfs that look like children, you know. It's crazy, and at the end you see her literally giving birth to one of them. She pulls the baby out of herself, and, like, it's covered in, like, blood, and and she licks it off. I'm like, oh my god, this is sick. And another film from David Cronenberg called Shivers really gets under my skin as well. You got these crazed, psychotic, you know, sex-starved zombies chasing after you and crowding around you, trying to jump your bones and hump you to death. You know, it's insanity. Very disturbing film. And of course, Maniac, which really shows the dark, disturbing, seedy side of New York City to the max. I mean, this film gets under your skin. It gets inside the head of a psychotic maniac that's out there, you know, killing young women one by one, and you get inside his head, and the film follows the killer around, and you get inside the disturbed mind of this killer, you know, played brilliantly by Joe Spinell. But yeah, this film is very disturbing. And then you got a film like I Spit on Your Grave, which is very disturbing. Brutal rape scenes. And then once the woman gets her revenge on these rapists, you know, it becomes this brutal, like, nasty, like, slasher film. She takes them out one by one. It's crazy. Yeah, so we are going to be talking about the most disturbing horror films of all time, and we'll give our own picks, of course. And so I'm very interested to see what the others come up with. I know there's much more demented films than the ones I've mentioned here, for sure. Some that a lot of that I've never seen. I've never seen a Serbian film, for example. I've never seen that. So yeah, there's still some out there that I have not seen, so I'm sure they're going to mention some of them, you know. So very much looking forward to the next Horror Hangout live stream. So don't miss it. Wednesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the Horror Hangout live stream. And thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Good evening, folks, and we got some brand new merchandise for you over at www.thehorrorcona.com, and that's CONA.com. Representing the Horror Corner. Great new design. We got the Morbid Hour live stream there, you got the Horror Hangout live stream there, and you got my nemesis, the Dark Fate. So grab your t-shirt over at www.thehorrorcona.com. And we also got this beautiful new mug. Look at that. Very, very cool. Thought that came out really nice. So grab your merchandise today over at www.thehorrorcona.com. Folks, don't forget to grab your Sean Patrick Erschen gear and represent the Horror Corner. Also, check out these awesome mugs we have. Perfect for your coffee. And definitely check out the Horror Hangout live stream t-shirt and represent the legacy of the Horror Hangout. Check out the link in the description below this video.